And we're on the air. Good afternoon and welcome to the show that, man, rocks the house and rocks it again 3 and 4 and 5 times. This is the Sports Box. The only opinion that matters is right here. I am Mike Galetta, a.k.a. Hampton Mike, along with my partner, Brian, the Ranger Attard. Brian, how are you today?
Ready for some football. Are you ready for some football?
I am. And let's talk to a guy who knows about football. We are going to head out west, first of all, to talk to a man who still loves the Oakland Raiders, even though in a couple years they will not be the Oakland Raiders. But anyway, we'll talk to him now. Let's talk to our man, Ron Dorsey. Ron, what's up, brother?
How you guys doing tonight, man?
Oh, man, we're trying to be like you, just living the dream. Absolutely
living it up, right?
That's,
there you go.
Oh, man, we're in Hamilton. What could be better than this?
I don't think any teams...
Exactly, you're right.
That's it.
You're absolutely right.
I don't think any team's moved more than the Raiders, so I think Ron's used to this.
That's right. You don't change allegiance, you just change dresses. Anyway.
They don't build houses, they rent.
That's right. They rent
They don't buy.
Exactly. So Brian, let's start them off with stat me. Let's talk the Raiders.
Oakland Raiders, 12-4, their best season since 2002. Second place in the AFC West.
Yep.
Unfortunately, they lost to Houston the wild card round. As everybody knows, Derek Carr missed that game due to injury, and that's pretty much the reason that they lost. They were absolutely stellar offensively last year. 6th overall in the league. 6th on the ground, kind of surprisingly, and 13th through the air, also kind of surprisingly. I figured those might be reversed. Derek Carr, again, got hurt towards the end of the year. He missed a playoff game. He just missed 4,000 yards last year, 28 touchdowns, and just 6 interceptions. Great year for him. Leading rusher was Latavius Murray, almost 800 yards, 12 scores. Moved on to Minnesota. Wide receivers, they had 2,000-yard receivers, Mike. Both Amari Cooper and Michael Crabtree had over 1,000 yards. 5 touchdowns for Amari and 8 touchdowns for Crabtree. Defensively, though, not really that potent. I'll leave it at that. 26th overall in the league, 23rd against the run, 24th against the pass. And they tried to address that in the draft with a guy who I think is the absolute steal of the first round, and Gareon Conley, cornerback out of Ohio State, 24th overall, which you guys will remember fell in that draft. He was pretty much a consensus top 10 pick, but there was some off-the-field concerns which have since passed. The Raiders did their did their due diligence.
Yep.
He's good to go, and he fits this team to it. Just perfect fit.
Yep.
Ron, but just touch on last year. I mean, I don't think any team had a more disappointing end of the year than the Oakland Raiders did, because they deserved a better fate than they got. If Derek Carr plays that game against Houston, I have no doubt that they win that game. How frustrating is the end of that season for you as a Raider fan?
Well, first, I think if he doesn't get hurt, we get the first seed. And everything comes back to Oakland. All the games are Oakland. That's my say from last year.
Yep.
But I definitely think they would have beat Houston easily with Carr. We would have made a long run in the playoffs. That one injury just killed our whole season. As you can tell, our backup quarterback, both our backup and our third string didn't do anything. Couldn't get it done. With Carr in there, it was a totally different story, I think. And I think a lot of people know that too.
You look at this offense for the Raiders. Obviously, they get a big jump with Derek Carr back in the lineup. Obviously, their leader and saver, and they signed the big money. And with big money comes the other plan that happened when they upgraded the offensive line. You brought in Osmele from Baltimore. You brought in Hudson from Kansas City. You brought in Newhouse from the Giants. You also brought in 2 new tight ends, which the loss of Rivera might hurt them a little bit. But you brought in Lee Smith from Buffalo and Jared Cook from Green Bay. How do you see the offensive line shaping out for the Raiders? Are they going to be able to give Derek Carr the protection he's going to need to be the quarterback he needs to be?
Well, I think we have one of the best offensive lines in the league. We also have, Donald Penn is holding out right now through a contract issue, but hopefully he'll be back in. When he comes back in, I think our offensive line will hold up real well for Derek Carr.
Ron, as a Bucs fan, that sticks in my craw that Donald Penn scored a touchdown last year against the Bucs, being he's a long-time Bucs fan. But that's a different topic. I'm sorry, man.
That was a rough one for you.
Yeah, that was a stick in my ass that I still can't get out. But anyway, let's just go to a different topic with that. Yep.
I think also, though, with the addition of Cook, it's going to open up the pass game, because we needed that tight end to open up the middle of the field. We didn't have that the last couple years.
Yep.
Also, like you said, with the addition of Marshawn Lynch.
Yep.
I think that is going to open up our offense big time. You talk about Murray. Last year, Murray had a really good year with running behind that line. Now imagine Marshawn Lynch behind that line. I think we're going to be a team to be forced this year.
if he's in shape. That's
Yeah, so that's the thing. So you bring up Marshawn Lynch. Now, again, he hasn't played. I mean, it was kind of the worst kept secret in the league. He was going to end up on the Oakland Raiders. He's 31 years old. They say for running backs, once you hit that 30-year-old, wall, things really start to tail downhill. So I guess my question is, for a 31-year-old running back, I mean, when he was playing previously in Buffalo and in Seattle, I mean, he had a lot of tread on those times. He really was a hard runner. That's why they called him beast mode. Took a year off, but can he be, for this Raiders team, what he was for Seattle? And if not, is this going to be more, especially for the fantasy players, is this going to be more of a timeshare for Lynch, or is he going to be a feature back for this team?
Me, I think that year helped him. If you play football and you're a physical running back, that one whole year of just not playing, I think will help you. And I think he missed the game. And I think if you come back hungry like I think he is, I think there's going to be a drop-off. I think we need him mostly in our short yardage and goal line. We didn't have that. We had Latavius Murray. He was a big back, but he wasn't physical enough. He wasn't physical at all. And Lynch, as you can tell, he's a physical running back. Mm-hmm. And just that presence, I think, is going to help everybody on our whole offense. Is he going to carry 30, 40 times a game? Probably not. We have other running backs. We got Washington and we got Richards. They're right behind him. So I think he's going to be more of a short yards down the hill, short yards back, goal line back, and then we can spread in these rookies to do other things.
We're talking to Ron Dorsey, our Oakland Raiders affiliate for the Sports Box. Ron, you talk about the defense for this team, and I think their defensive line is phenomenal. You got Mario Edwards Jr., second year out of Florida State, going to be fine on the end with Khalil Mack on the other side. We all know about Khalil Mack, stud that he is. Inside linebackers are fine as well. The secondary is a little bit troubling to me, though. You do have Carl Joseph on the outside, Travis Carey on the outside, but you're bringing in two new guys with Reggie Nelson from Cincinnati and Sean Smith from Kansas City. Is that any kind of a fear that you have with that secondary, maybe not having the chemistry that it did last year and maybe, struggling a little bit in the beginning of the season?
Well, Reggie Nelson played last year. This is his second year back,
okay.
So he's going to, I think, a year playing together is going to help. That nucleus. Carl Joseph, he's a year older. He's going to come back. He's starting that strong safety for us. I think just the experience that he had last year, the little playing time that he has, is going to help with our secondary this year. And then, like you guys touched on, Conley coming in. There's another guy in our camp named Borders. I think his name is. He's from Duke.
Yep.
He's right now. He's the talk of camp. So these young guys are stepping up right now. So hopefully, they will help us on the field. Because, like you said, our D-line is great. We have a great line. It's our back seven, it's our linebackers and secondary that needs help.
Yep.
And hopefully we got the help with the draft and the guys that we brought in from free agent.
Yep.
And I think a big reason that the Raiders were so successful last year really is their ability to not turn the ball over. Derek Carr only had 6 interceptions. The Raiders were tied of all teams with a plus 16 takeaways, giveaways. I mean, that when you're keeping the ball and you're not having those forced errors, it makes everything just look so much better. And it's not that they don't throw the ball either. I mean, again, their talent on the outside is phenomenal. Michael Crabtree, I think, is so underrated as a player because he kind of flamed out in San Francisco, but he just played so well last year. And to your point about Jared Cook, I think that's going to add a dimension to this offense that we haven't seen in a long time for the Raiders, because they haven't really had that pass-catching tight end. I mean, who are you going to block on this Raider offense?
Yeah, we thought Wilford would be that guy, but he didn't turn out to be that guy. So Cook, he's proven. He's a proven good tight end in the league. He can stretch the field, and like you said, I think he's going to open up more passing lane for Crabtree.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Ron, we get into the schedule a little bit, and I always like to call into a schedule some kind of murderer's row, a game where maybe 3 or 4 games in where it's a tough part of the schedule, the media schedule. I mean, the Raiders, obviously a good team, they have a tougher schedule. In the beginning of the year, right before the bye week, they do go to Buffalo, do go to Miami. They're travel games, they go east, but then they do go into the bye week. But then after the bye week, it looks like it's kind of a rough start in the first 4 games there. You're home against New England, home against Denver, home against New York, which were 3 nice games at home, but then you travel to Kansas City, always a tough place to play. How do you feel that is coming out of the bye week? The Raiders are going to have to set up for that, to get ready for that, or are they going to have to, are they going to be, you're not worried about that at all?
Well, I think it's going to be hardest schedule in the league.
Yep.
And if you look at that list, all the top four teams in that list are AFC West teams. So that's going to be rough. We have to win our division. I think if we win our division, it will make us a lot better for the season.
Yep.
Overall, it's going to be rough. We have 5 primetime games this year. As you know, we put East Coast 4 games. So it's always hard going from the West Coast to East Coast.
I was going to say 5 of those 8 game travel games are East Coast teams, which are tough travel games.
So that's a challenge right there.
Yep.
If we can overcome that, our record overall isn't good when we travel east. If we can split them games or win the majority of the games, I think our season would be, we're right where we want to be going into, the season.
Yeah, I mean, those cold weather games towards the end of the season, I mean, they're going to rely on, I think, Marshawn Lynch more than people give him credit for, because, you're right, they really lack that power running game, even really since McFadden was there. I mean, they didn't really have that guy that they could trust to run through the tackles and get those tough yards, and obviously that's Lynch's calling card. It is a very hard schedule, but they're an excellent team. They're one of the top teams in the league. I think that's without question. How do you think, put you on the spot here, how do you think this plays itself out for the Raiders this year when hopefully, knock on wood, they get a healthy Derek Carr the whole way?
What was that? I'm sorry, sir. I didn't.
No, you got it. How do you think that this plays out from a record standpoint for a really good Raiders team that hopefully the Derek Carr stays healthy the whole way as well?
Well, when I'm looking at the schedule, I'm looking anywhere between with a 10-4, 11-3, stuff like around that area. Like you said, after the bye week, it's kind of rough. The end of the year is going to be really rough for us to come out and make a run. But if we make that run, like I said, I really think we can have a good season this year.
So you're saying 10-11 wins is good, is a good feedback for them.
Yes.
Okay. That's.
I think their biggest threat is Kansas City.
In Kansas City.
Yeah.
Kansas City and Philly, they're cold places to play.
Always good.
Yeah.
That's a rough one, but their quarterback situation is kind of shaky.
Yep.
But their defense is always good in that division.
Coached well as well.
Kansas City, like you said, is always hard to go to Kansas City and win at Kansas City. So you gotta try to either win all your games in the division or split in the AFC West. So
we will see. It should be interesting. But that's all the time we have for the Raiders preview. I want to thank our good friend and Oakland affiliate. Always does a great job for us, Ron Dorsey. Ron, thank you very much, my friend.
Thank you guys for having me again.
No problem. And anytime something breaks in Raiders camp or something happens in the Oakland field, we will get Ron back on here. Hopefully this time he'll come in studio next time. But either way, we'll get him back on to talk a little Raiders ball. Is that good, Ron?
Yeah, that sounds good. Thanks a lot, guys.
No problem. Remember, you can always get us on social media if you need to.
Absolutely. Both Twitter and Facebook at Sportsbox Show. And subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. This is one of 32 previews we're doing to get you ready for the NFL season. Make sure you check us out. We're dropping a lot of great content for you.
And dropping something else soon. Anyway, thank you for watching. We really appreciate it. Anyway, at the Sportsbox, the only opinion that matters is absolutely right here. Thanks for watching. See you.
This episode of the Sports Box is brought to you by Mic'd Up Entertainment and DJ Mike Velarde. For all of your event planning needs, make sure you contact Mike at 609-864-5925 and tell him that you saw him on the Sports Box.
1, 2, 3.
Don't forget to subscribe.